to put in their locations where you're joining us from, the city, the state, or the country you're joining us from in the chat box. And I would like to welcome each and everyone to our program preview today, Master AI-driven Business Decision Making with Wharton Online. We have Eric with us today.
Greetings all. Welcome.
Rhode Island, Brian from San Francisco, Dan from Washington. Great. We have a audience joining us from around the globe today. That's good to know. So let's begin. Before we begin, I would like to set some ground rules for the webinar session today. I would request all of you to put their questions in the Q&A box. Please avoid them putting in the chat box so that we don't lose track of them, and we'll be addressing them at the end of the session. Yes, the session is being recorded, so you don't have to worry. We will be sending you a follow-up email with the recording and the bonus offer in the end. To request for a proof of attendance for attending this webinar today, you can put in your name and your details in the post-webinar survey. So you'll be getting a webinar survey. Once you leave the webinar, you will need to fill in your details, and your certificate and the recording link of the webinar will be sent to your email after this session. Before we begin, I have a quick poll for all of you. I just want to understand the experience level of our audience today so that we can tailor our session accordingly. The poll is online. You can post your responses. You may be less than 2 years of experience, 2 to 5 years of experience, 5 to 10 years of experience, or more than 10 years of experience. I would request all our participants to punch in their responses. I'll keep the poll open for another 10 seconds before I close it. Thank you all for your responses. I'll end the poll now. As I can see, about 29% of our audience is below 2 years of experience, 10% of our audience is in the 5 to 10 years bracket, and about 62% of our audience is more than 10 years of experience. Great to know that. Thank you all for your responses. Let's come to the agenda of today. So we'll obviously be discussing about AI in business, what this program by Wharton Online offers, and how this program gets you future ready. And we will also take you through the enrollment steps, followed by our Q&A session. So I would request all of you to post your questions in the Q&A box, and we will be addressing them at the end. Let me introduce to our guide today, Mr. Eric. He's the managing director and founder of Wharton Online. I would request Eric to please introduce himself to the audience today.
Prefer if you did it. We all know it's always a little awkward talking about yourself, right? Actually, thank you very much. Greetings to you in India. Greetings to all of you out there, wherever you're joining, as we come to you live from the Wharton and Penn's campus here at the University of Pennsylvania. I would encourage everybody that has yet to put where they're joining from, if you could put that in the chat. Super interesting, and at least for me, really demonstrates the global reach of this program, and maybe more importantly, Wharton Online's partnership with Simplilearn. All right, Miguel in South Florida, thanks for adding some of that. And in full transparency, I'm on Wharton's campus usually 3, maybe 4 days a week, and I'm actually in South Jersey today, Southern New Jersey, as I'll drive up to campus again for work tomorrow. Pakistan, Cardiff, LA, excellent. All right, thank you, folks. So as Akshay said, yes, my name is Eric Hamburger. I am the managing director of Wharton Online. So I oversee the Wharton Online business. Previous to this, the founder of Wharton Live, which was a business unit designed to bring synchronous online education at scale. And we did that for a little over a year before bringing that team together with Wharton Online. So we're just one big happy family. I've spent really my entire professional career in executive and graduate education prior to this. And some of you may have heard of it if you like college basketball, but I was the assistant dean of the business school at Villanova, which is pretty close to Penn and Wharton's campus outside of Philadelphia. And I've been teaching graduate level courses, really master's level and MBA programs and other master's degree programs for about the last 15 years. And as Akshay just put in the chat, please post questions throughout in the Q&A box, and we'll try to get to those organically as they come. and to others at the end. So feel free to start entering those. Okay. One other detail about Wharton Online specifically, I just wanted to note, typically we reach about 1 to 2 million people a year through our various programs on different platforms. And I'm typically really proud of that scale, but I'm less focused on that today because I really want to make sure all of you as individuals get the information that you're seeking. I mean, you've all joined here probably for unique ways, for unique reasons. What is this going to do for you? Actually just talked about future ready. And I just have to chuckle as we're talking about AI for decision making. I mean, how about being ready for today or just tomorrow, right? As this is a very fast and moving sector at the moment. So if we can take my face off the screen and move to the next slide, that would be lovely. And keep putting in those locations, folks. All right, Dallas, San Jose, Austin, Pakistan. All right, excellent. Okay, so, and we could go to the next one too, as we're talking about AIs. Changing role in business, like I said, future ready, right? Let's just keep getting ready for today and tomorrow. What we've been suggesting here at Wharton is that AI is, and I mean, spoiler alert, you all know this, it's such a fast moving field, artificial intelligence. Organizations need to, I think, in my estimation, take a portfolio approach to build capacity, I think, in the organization. And in order to build that capacity, we're looking to use data in their structured forms. Okay, so to experiment with AI to analyze unstructured data may be the most interesting to you and maybe the folks that lead your organization. You're probably one of them. Data that grows and kind of accumulates amongst our respective data houses, really like 80% of which, approximately speaking, is unstructured. Okay, so AI can enable us to mine that data. When we mine that data in search of hopefully the gold that is buried there, right? These technologies allow us to test the hypotheses of our business and manage our uncertain environments. I'm guessing you're probably all working in at least a modestly uncertain environment. Nothing's ever certain. Like the kinds of circumstances, really, I think we find ourselves today. We've got geopolitical disruption. We've got an ever-changing technology landscape. And we are watching huge corporations kind of scramble in many respects to get a foothold in this space. So, we emerge from something like COVID. We've got global conflicts. Fear of recession, I think, is still kind of lingering. And there's so many factors that in some cases we have little to no control over. And they still influence our deliberative process when it comes to decision making. Whatever we can do to bring that unstructured data in a more organized fashion to better test our hypotheses and the decision-making options that sit before us, we're going to be more successful. It's just a natural byproduct of that, right? So, organizations like McKinsey, TCS have created analyses that call for people that stand between sort of the business models that have been developed and leveraged by administrative leaders, say in or maybe around the C-suite, and data scientists. So this course in particular, AI for decision making, here from Wharton and in partnership with Simplilearn, is something that's not intended really to be engineering in focus. All right, this really provides business cases across multiple fields, multiple industries. Think broadly about, say, general management, for example, which in one respect is why this program, I think, has such blanket appeal to so many, that through kind of the exploration of both the structured and unstructured data, you can literally translate the information that's coming out of your data warehouses into a forecast or a decision-making model that helps inform the decision-making process across multiple levels of management and the managerial ecosystem inside your respective organization where you work. So really, if you think about it, where you are today in contrast to where you will be at completion of this course, picture yourself as understanding enough about AI and machine learning technologies that are currently and rapidly evolving before our eyes. Think ChatGPT-4, right? And apply that understanding in advising senior leadership at your organization to start to form questions that this data can then answer, okay? It's really that mid to kind of senior level role that will analyze cases. You'll do this in the course, covering companies at the leading edge of extracting critical information from the loose data that's available to you in your respective role, and in the cases that you will study, right? And the vast repositories of unstructured data, like how do you start to organize all of this? And I should say that in that pool of unstructured data, we're talking about email, voicemail, video, audio, web traffic data. Much of that informs kind of the customer profiles that reveal how people move from sort of exploration to purchase. If we think about a product life cycle, I meant to say. All of these data sources are frankly different than when I myself was a young consumer, say 20 years ago, when we only had things like tabular data, right? Think relational databases and spreadsheets that were organized by rows and right by columns that were then applied in more direct ways to predict and drive forecasting models that were really rooted in a world with far more uncertainty. Like back then, we did things like scenario planning and sensitivity analyses. Now, what we talk about in part in this program is the optimization of models, right? That emerge with clear choices and expected forecasts. In the old days, relational database management systems and kind of various forms of structured data, this isn't your father's Oldsmobile, if I'm really dating myself, and for folks that remember those commercials here in the United States. This is a new day, and we all know employers and top-level leaders have an expectation. I may even call it a demand that their top people understand these technologies and are able to leverage their full capabilities. So this new tech, these new tools allow us to mine this unstructured data in productive ways. And that's really, I think, another fundamental cornerstone of this course. So I think on the next one, actually, we start to talk about a little bit, impacting business, every aspect of it, right? This is all encompassing. This course is going to show you a number of examples that come from organizations that have successfully applied artificial intelligence and machine learning technologies to develop new sales and marketing strategies. We're going to look at the work that's been done by modern marketing firms to develop personalized recommendation engines, explore other marketing strategies that are informed by large transactional and analytical databases. And those are informed by large pools of customer behavior that sort of augment our data pools, right? It's sort of complementary in that respect. So you'll be looking at large financial applications too, like midstream identification of patterns of customer behavior that might suggest things like fraudulent activities for companies processing e-commerce transactions, right? A lot of that going on with the holidays approaching. This enables the potential for intervention, all right, to take steps that assure the security of transactional, right, sort of awareness and processing for transactions that might initially appear a little bit suspicious. I think maybe there's time for a disclaimer. I should also note, and I probably should have done this in my own intro, I don't teach in this program, right? I assemble the greatest minds, in my estimation, in AI here at the Wharton School, and they teach live sessions once a month in addition to all of the asynchronous content that is already built and ready for your perusal as soon as you enroll in this program. Okay, so we also have a people analytics initiative here at the Wharton School. And, they had a conference, they have an annual conference. This year we hosted it in downtown Philadelphia to examine really how artificial intelligence and machine learning can be used successfully to navigate the task of all tasks, I think. And that's informing your decisions on hiring, your decisions on promotion, your decisions on performance management. AI can play a strong role here. But we also point out how important it is to remember the ethical considerations when it comes to the management of people, okay? That critical aspect is not overlooked here. And it is one I hope all of us, I would expect all of us to take really seriously. So I think, another example that we might touch on, say G20 countries, for example, even here in the United States, people that lack a FICO credit score can't qualify for loans. This is sort of an example that starts to exacerbate the division between the people that have and the people that don't. And that perpetuates generationally, right? Could we not apply new fintech technologies to better underwrite the eligibility of people who indeed are creditworthy, but are not necessarily seen that way through the eyes of outdated technologies and assessment tools. Okay. Think about that notion of creditworthiness and the impact to a business. If you can find a whole new pool of people that you could offer loans to, right? That can start to generate income for your organization. And I think this talks to sort of this broad aspect of a broad understanding, right? A well-rounded understanding. And if you don't mind, actually, we'll go to the next. You got to prepare yourself, right? I mean, we all do. We all need to prepare ourselves for this new, I think, decision-making arena that we're going to find ourselves in. This course, this program helps individuals gain the kind of, like tactile experience or maybe exposure in the terminology, the nomenclature, right? The words, the shop speak, right? That inside sort of insider information that engineers and data scientists probably use in building and developing artificial intelligence and machine learning projects in your company, in your organization. This course enables you to kind of level set with an understanding of these technologies, where when you're in the room, you're informed. When you're in the room, you're a player and you can participate, right? You can speak the language. What constitutes big data? What constitutes artificial intelligence? What is machine learning? And how is it conceived relative to, I don't know, say the size of your company? What does it mean for a small firm? And how they might pursue outsourced solutions on an open market. What about a big firm and the applications development group, right? And they're building in-house solutions. So maybe we take it back to people management for a second. Oh, that's funny. It's 10:45 Eastern Standard, and Outlook wants me to prepare for another meeting, but I'm here with you all, right? We're not going anywhere. We think about legitimate ethical concerns over HR applications. There are myriad of corporate organizational risks that can be associated with AI. Much of that conflict that happened with OpenAI just a couple of weeks ago was a sort of philosophical debate, right? The fears about AI developing at a pace for which we can't control versus others who believe it needs to be sort of let loose and continue to develop. So we start to think about how we step back in this course, in this program, to realize ways in which AI applications can implement and potentially spread bias in an undetected way. Or it can be, maybe in some circumstances, less than transparent in processes that utilize various data points that inform an algorithm to make a particular recommendation to a leader, to a decision maker. These are critically important issues for general management. And this is perhaps even more critical for the people that are working in the nonprofit and government sectors, if you might find yourself in that line of work. Okay, let's keep moving ahead. I think we may, yes.
So now that you understand what is AI about and how to get future ready and just what Eric spoke about, what's really stopping you, the audience here today, you from gaining the AI expertise? Is it that are you unable to find a comprehensive curriculum? Is it that you don't have enough practical exposure to become job ready, or is it you find it difficult to learn from pre-recorded videos, or is your work schedule just doesn't allow? So I'll just quickly run a poll so that you can punch in your responses. Is it that you are not finding a fully comprehensive curriculum? Are you finding it there is a lack of practical exposure? Or are you finding difficult to learn from pre-recorded videos? Or is it that work schedule doesn't allow you enough time for learning? It's a multiple choice poll. I would request all of you to punch in your responses so that we know what are your pain points and we can address them. Great, great, great. I can see the polls moving. I would request all our participants to post their responses. I'll keep the poll open for another 10 seconds. I'll end the poll now. Thank you all. So as I can see, many people are not finding a fully comprehensive curriculum. A lot of people don't have enough practical exposure to become, which helps them to become job ready. 25% of our audience says that it's difficult to learn from pre-recorded videos, And also we have a certain number of people saying that their work schedule doesn't allow enough time for learning. Thank you all for your responses. So to overcome these challenges, Wharton Online has come up with a unique program of AI for decision making. We've been discussing this throughout our slides today, and AI for what? Decision making, business strategies, and applications. It has a comprehensive curriculum with an industry aligned learning path. We also provide online live discussion supplement self-paced learning. It has integrated assignments and quizzes for your practical learning. So you'll get a practical exposure about what you're learning and apply those concepts. And it's also flexible to fit your lifestyle and schedule. So this program duration, if you invest about 3 to 5 hours a week, you'll be able to complete in the month in 3 months. So that's about the program. And at the end, you'll be also awarded the Wharton Online certification. You'll have real world business case studies to add to your resumes. You'll have live online masterclasses from Wharton, and our curriculum is co-created by some of the distinguished Wharton professors for you. Talking about the Wharton advantage, as we all know, Wharton School of University of Pennsylvania is globally recognized. It was founded in 1881 as the first collegiate business school. Wharton has over 5,000 undergraduate MBA and executive MBA doctoral students. We have more than 13,000 participants in executive education programs annually, and about a powerful network of about 100,000 graduates around the globe. Coming to the eligibility of the course, you don't need to have a prior knowledge of in programming or math. That's good news for everybody. And it's ideal for C-suite executives, senior level managers, and consultants. So as I can see, during the first poll we had, that most of our audience is quite experienced. So it's perfect for all of you guys to join. So again, the ideal candidates for this program, as I already mentioned, the C-suite executives, senior executives, business leaders and managers and leaders who are seeking to grow their skills in the field of AI. So how does this program prepare you? I would request Eric to please take us through the different steps in the program and make the audience understand how this program will build their AI skills.
Actually, thank you. I think the first thing I would point out in relation to the screen in front of you is it's deliberate, right? These things complement each other. This is very intentionally created and crafted, this curriculum. I should also point out this program has live sessions with Wharton faculty once a month at least. And one of the reasons I think that's important, and I saw in the most recent poll, a fourth of you, 25% of people said, I've got a difficult time learning through asynchronous videos. Asynchronous videos are certainly a part of this program, but so is live interaction with Wharton faculty, which I think differentiates it from other opportunities and programs that you may have access to at your disposal. I mean, you will have sessions with Wharton faculty. And when I'm talking about Wharton faculty, I'm talking about heavy hitters, frankly, like the head of our legal ethics department, Kevin Warbach, teaches in this program. Lin Wu, Sunny Tambe, Matthew Bidwell, and Peter Capelli are respected globally for HR as thought leadership. And it's actually, I should offer, this is a funny tidbit. Maybe nobody will care, but I found it interesting. We were at Gartner's Reimagining HR conference just last month. And we were down in Orlando, Florida. There's a counterpart conference in London also, I think in October. And we had a theater session with Professor Matthew Bidwell talking about AI and HR. And there were 50 seats and 550 people showed up. It was a wild scene because people are hungry for this information, right? And they're hungry for the information that's happening right now. And with the opportunity of those live sessions, you can talk about HR management and AI, and you can talk about what's happening today. The finance domain, we've got Professor Michael Roberts, again, world-renowned expert that can talk about these things. Raghu Iyengar, himself a marketing expert in AI and using AI tools, is teaching in this program. Big data, AI, machine learning. It's really We don't outsource, right, to adjuncts or lecture. These are our true Wharton tenured faculty. So I think one of the things that's also different, frankly, about Wharton programming is that we don't focus on curricula, what you might call settled sciences. For example, I'm not telling you to enroll in this program because you're going to learn how to code in R or you're going to learn Python explicitly. All right. We're talking about drawing on the top academic minds in these fields of study to analyze and research topics that are unsettled. I think hopefully we're all in agreement. AI is far from a well-established and settled topic, right? It is changing every day. And an old friend of mine, my predecessor, Don Huseman, would say, you know, we sort of set a table so that on one side we have the top minds from academia, and on the other side we have the top minds from business. My expectation is that you all out there are those top minds from business. And my expectation is that really you get to come together and share thought leadership. We're of the opinion that the knowledge cultivated essentially on both sides of that table, where we engage in meaningful interaction around critical topics like artificial intelligence and machine learning, results in the creation of new knowledge that helps inform the study of these unsettled questions, of these unsettled sciences. To me, that's really exciting. It's why I enjoy working here at Wharton. I think it's why you'll all really enjoy this program. And it's moving fast, right? I mean, what, 2 months ago, we could have talked about Thrive Capital trying to purchase OpenAI for $80 billion. That entered the news cycle, now overblown by the ouster and the quick return of CEO Sam Altman, right? And that like jockeying with Microsoft over a weekend in a 4-day span, we saw a board removed and we had new board members. We had a CEO that had returned, and we're talking about sort of this philosophical debate over artificial intelligence. It's a fast-moving topic. So faculty are going to bring research from the organizations they are actively consulting with and using their data to conduct that research, okay? And we hope to bring you into that work and inform it with your own practical knowledge and context and ability to test your own hypotheses that your business has from where you work, okay? I think there's sort of a combination of intellectual power that covers a variety of cases. I saw another question in the Q&A box about, is it just B2C? We're also talking about B2B, okay? We're getting both sides of that equation, all right? And it's a diverse set of industries, kind of manifests itself in live discussion and interaction. And we also, I think, appreciate that you're all super busy. I'm sure you are. It's why I appreciate you actually carving out some time of your day right now just to be with us. And if we move to the next one, I'm trying to remember if we're talking about, right, spoiler, I kind of gave some of these away, but these are those names I was mentioning just a few minutes ago. Karthik Hasanagar and Sunny Tambe, they help oversee Wharton's AI department. It's really like AI and machine learning in the business analytics office here at the Wharton School. And Professor Lin Wu is going to show you some pretty incredible examples and sort of challenge you to say, what is AI generated and what is not? So I think take a snapshot of that. These are the folks that you'll get to engage with and the content for which is asynchronously supplied to you that you can go through at your own pace. And I may be putting it back to you, actually. I'm not sure if the next one. This is just a quick snapshot of some of those cases and companies that'll be featured.
We discussed these. These are some of the real world examples that we'll be going through during the program, which include Visa, JP Morgan, Citibank, Visa, McDonald's, and many, many more. Moving on. So now that you know what all is entailed in the program, I would really like to know how many of you are interested to enroll in the AI for decision making with Wharton Online program. I'll quickly run a poll so that you can punch in your responses. If you are interested, please punch in a yes, and so that we understand how many people are interested in enrolling for the program. I would request all our participants to punch in their responses. I'll keep the poll open for another 10 seconds so that you have the chance to punch in your responses. Thank you all for your responses. I'll end the poll now. Thank you. As I can see, about 80% of our audience is already interested in enrolling for the program. That's great news. I'll quickly run you through the enrollment steps. There are 3 simple steps. First, you need to submit an application. You can send in an email at askus@simplilearn.net with your application. And in the second step, our team at Wharton Online and Simplilearn will review your application. Once we have checked all your background and education qualifications and the eligibility criteria, we will send you an admission letter. So that's simple steps. So all you need to do is send us an email at askus@simplylearn.net. Coming to the enrollment and program schedule, if you're immediately interested to enroll, our next cohort starts on the 14th of December this year, which is in about a week's time. And let me remind our audience that we have limited seats in every cohort. So I would request all of you to send in that email as soon as possible. The pricing, it's priced at US $3,000 in the US. And we also have financing options available as low as $264 a month. And in India, it's priced at 1,35,000, which also has a unique financing option as well. People from other regions, apart from India and US, we also have pricing plans for those countries. So we would request you all to send us an email at askus@simplylearn.net, and our team will get back to you with the correct pricing for your country. So now that we know, how soon do you plan to enroll for the Wharton AI program? I'll run quickly another poll. If you plan to enroll for it immediately, please punch in immediately, within 3 months, within 6 months, or more than 6 months from now. This will give us an understanding of how many people are interested to join us for our program. I request all our participants to punch in their responses. Thank you all for your responses. I'll end the poll now. Coming to question and answers, we have got a few questions in our Q&A box. I think Eric has already addressed a couple of them. So Eric, we have one question. What types of jobs could I apply to after completing this course? Can you discuss?
Yeah, I think it would certainly be unique to the individual and the other experience that they bring to bear throughout their career. I would hesitate to say that this course on its own would allow for a direct career pivot into a technical field, right, where you'd actually be coding or working in artificial intelligence platforms. That said, I mean, this is a credential that will bear the Wharton brand. And as such, right, like you are going through something that is rigorous. I saw there's another question, I think that complements this actually in the general chat about, certainly we could go into these respective domains and dedicate an entire course or an entire academic semester to them. That's absolutely true. I think I'd hesitate to call this more of a survey. But we are, I think at its baseline, kind of a general managerial focus. The genesis for all those domains, though, is to make sure that it's not completely one-sided to a specific industry or sector. And I think that's important when you start to bring people together from a variety of professional backgrounds, that you can start to have conversations and kind of debate topics in a way where you have multiple frames of view, points of view. And we think that that enhances the overall and general learning experience for all the participants.
Great. We have another.
And Sandra, yes, this is a certificate course. You get a certificate of completion. I think it was on one of the previous slides, sort of a little snapshot was in one of them.
Yes, Sandra, there will be a discount for enrolling immediately. So please, I would request you to send us an email at askus@simplylearn.net. I will also post the course link in the chat so you can quickly visit this course page and get more details about the course. You can also drop a lead there and our team will get back to you. Yeah, I think that's about it, what we had for today. We have gone through all the questions for today. We just quickly run through the chat as well so that we don't miss out on anything. Yes, we will be sharing the video. Please, I would request all of you while leaving the webinar, please fill in the post-webinar survey so that we can get to you emails with our video recording and your certificates for attending today. I have already posted the course link. We have one last question, Eric. How do you relate AI to the geological field? Do you have?
I'm not sure. Actually, I saw that question come through. I would be really in a dark room trying to answer that question. But Abdallah, I appreciate you raising it. This is where I start to defer to talk to our Wharton faculty in the program with that question and see how deep of a rabbit hole you can go down in that discussion. But yes, I would be out of my depth if I tried to field that one.
Thank you, Eric. I think we have answered all the questions for today, and we have another small poll before we end this. If you need any kind of assistance with the enrollment, I would request you to punch in a yes in the poll so that our team will get back to you immediately and help you with the further enrollment steps. I would request all our participants to please punch in their responses before we end the webinar today. I'll keep the poll open for another 5 seconds. Thank you all for your responses, and I would like to thank our guide for today, Eric, for taking his time out and explaining, giving us an insightful session about the Wharton Online program. Thank you, Eric, for being here.
Pleasure, Akshay. I thank you for inviting me. And again, special thanks to all of you out there for carving out some time in what I'm sure is a rather busy day for you to spend some time with us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you all for attending our webinar today. I would love to see you on the learning community soon. If you have any questions about pricing or the program itself, I've posted the link in the chat box. You can access our course page. Also, you can send us an email on the email being flashed right now. Ask us at simplilearn.net, and our team will get back to you at the earliest. Thank you all for joining us today, and have a great day. Thank you.